Hello, I'm Linda from paperboutique.blogspot.com. Today is all about getting the best impressions with your acrylic stamps. I experimented with several techniques and thought I would share my results with you. This is purely my opinion based on my testing, and your results may vary. I used the same stamps and ink for all of the experiments. I love Emma's stamps from my creative time and decided to use them for the test. Her stamps are high quality and perfect for the test. When I told Emma that I was going to use her stamps in the video, she sent me one of her mouse pads to try, and it's a darling mouse pad and we'll be stamping on it in a moment, and her recommended ink, and that is archival ink from Ranger, and I've never tried this particular ink and I'm really enjoying it. And I want to thank Emma for doing that. I am used to using the Memento ink, which I really like, especially if you're going to be doing any watercoloring. I also used the same cardstock, and I'm not sure if you can see this. I have the shot pretty tight. And this is 110-pound white cardstock, and it's Georgia Pacific. And I purchased it, like I said, at Walmart. And it's fairly inexpensive. Well, let me put that down and let's go ahead and begin. Today we're going to try stamping using a stamp press, a stamping mat, a mouse pad, and then we're going to stamp directly on this table, which just has a really thin like cutting mat below it. And I want to show you the different results with the different tools. Well, let's go ahead and get started with the stamp press. And for those of you that haven't seen this, it's been around for a while. It's the Fiskars Stamp Press, and I purchased mine at Joann's using a 40% off coupon. Currently it's on sale at joann.com for $9.09 and regularly sells online for $12.99. And I'm just going to put Emma's stamp down. And the nice thing about this stamp press is you can line up the stamp wherever you want it on your card, and then just go, and you've got all the grids, and you just go ahead and push down and it sticks, and then every time you stamp it stays in the exact same spot. Well, a lot of times I'll just open the ink and then just go like this to ink it, but the directions on the stamp mats or on the stamping press say to do it this way. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I'm hoping that you can see and just get a good coating of ink there. And I'll move this and then turn it the right side so you can see, and we'll just go ahead, and oh my gosh, that's a really nice image. So what I want to do at this point is I'm going to grab a baby wipe and kind of clean up the mess because we've got black ink everywhere, and I'm just going to pull off the stamp, and then I'm going to search around frantically for my acrylic block that we're going to use in the next technique. I'll just go ahead and put it on a regular acrylic block, and for this technique I'm going to use what is called a stamping mat, and I've had this one for over 5 years, so I can't remember what brand it is or how much I paid for it. It's about a little over 1/4 of an inch thick, and it's extremely, I'm hoping you're able to see that, firm. I'm not sure, it could be the Darcy one that they're selling at joann.com for like $4.19. I just can't remember. But it's a rather firm one, and I think pretty much all of the stamping pads are very similar. So we're going to just take the same sheet of paper, same ink, I'm just going to ink it up. And I don't think you're going to be able to see the impression until the end, and I'll zoom in the camera, and then we'll go ahead. And that's a very good impression too, and I'll move that aside. The next one I want to try doing is using a mouse pad. And let me move some of this out of the way here. And this is the mouse pad that Emma sent me, which I'm really thrilled about. And I'll just ink it up again. And you can take the ink to the stamp or vice versa. I'm afraid I'm not totally consistent. I do it either way. And whoops, I'll go ahead and try it with the stamp or with the mouse pad. And that's also a very good impression. To be honest with you, the best impression so far is the stamping press. And I know you can't see it. And lastly, I'm going to move this out of the way. And now all that's underneath is just a cutting mat. And I'm going to ink it up using the, let's turn it the right way. And that is probably, it's not as good as the other impressions at all. So what I'm going to do now is let's go through them, and I'll do one final comparison so you can see a close-up of each one of these. Okay, now that we're zoomed in, I want to show you the difference. And it's interesting because I did this test earlier today and I came up with the exact same results. This is, in my opinion, the best image, and it is done using the stamping press. And I really think it's crisp and the lines are clean. This is the second one we did, and this is using the stamping mat, and I really don't like this impression. It's kind of a little more smudgy and a little broader, so I'm not as crazy about the stamping mat as I am with the stamping press. And then the third one is done with the Mousepad, and I think the Mousepad is almost as good as the stamping press. So in my opinion, the stamping press or the Mousepad, stamping press is just a little finer detail. And then lastly, and I wouldn't recommend this one, is I don't know if you can see it in the zooming in, but it kind of smudged a little bit and it just didn't get the detail using just the plain mat or not mat, just the plain cutting mat underneath. So I'm really not as happy with that one, but my favorite, I'll bring it in again, is the stamp press, and I'll show you the stamp press. And in my opinion, the second favorite way is the Mousepad. And this Mousepad, it's hard to distinguish. This gives you maybe just a little finer, and this certainly is handy when you're lining up your stamps. And lastly, I'd like to thank Emma for donating the ink and the Mousepad. Well, I'd like to thank you for watching, and please visit my blog at www.paperboutique.blogspot.com for more projects and ideas. Bye-bye.